Hello, my name is Chase Mills, and I am doing my presentation on bone repair, which, from my studying and learning today and over the past little bit, has made me realize is pretty awesome. So first, we break a bone. When we break a bone, as you can see in the slide there's an obvious break there in the bone. The first thing that happens is a hematoma forms, and this forms because the bones are very vascular. There's a lot of vessels in bones, and so when they break, all of those vessels break, and we get some serious inflammation, and this hematoma forms, and this is the painful part of the break. This is what hurts when we break our bone. This hematoma forms, and we get this big blood clot and kind of big barrier around the break. And that's the first stage of healing, actually, is that hematoma forming, which leads to the second stage of a fibrocartilaginous callus. Now, what happens here is that you have the hematoma there, and capillaries actually grow into the hematoma, which is amazing. I thought that was pretty cool. So you get actual vessel growth into the hematoma, and once the vessels grow into the hematoma, the body can start supplying the needed blood cells to start fixing itself and the problem. And so what the body sends these macrophages to the site, and they go in and start cleaning up all the debris and all the dead cells and dead things. They go in and eat away anything that's dead or not useful. What the blood also brings fibroblasts and osteoblasts. Now these are both like creation things. The fibroblasts create cartilage, and the osteoblasts, fibroblasts produce collagen fibrils that connect the broken bone ends, and the osteoblasts start to form spongy bone. So we're starting to get bone repair here in the actual bone, new bone now from the osteoblasts and fibroblasts. And because we're getting new material built up, we get this fibrocartilaginous callus, which it's kind of like as you can see, it's just like the lump around the break that is new bone forming, and this takes place within a couple days of the fracture. So within a couple days, the new vessels are brought into the break, and brings these fibroblasts, osteoblasts, and the macrophages, the cells that clean everything up and start building new. Now, the next stage is the bony callus. So while this we have this callus already built up, the fibrocartilaginous callus is built, it's converted into a bony callus, so it becomes hard. It gets harder, and this takes about 2 to 3 months. As you can see in the slide, it starts 3 to 4 weeks after the injury, and it just keeps getting stronger and harder. So here the osteoblasts and osteoclasts are present. They're doing this work to create the bony callus. So it's the same callus, but it's going from spongy and a little soft to actually being hard bone. And this takes, like I said, about 2 months, depending on the break. But and their last stage is bone remodeling. Now, bone remodeling, I think, is pretty awesome too. This is the other part of bone repair that really impressed me about our bodies was once our bone is hard and reformed, we still have that callus. If you've seen broken bones, there's a lot of times that the callus is very prominent. It's there. It's obvious. But the amazing thing is this bone remodeling, the osteoblasts and osteoclasts remove any excess material. So they go in, the body says, hey, the bone is doing good, it feels good, but it has excess stuff, so we need to clean this up. So the body keeps sending these osteoblasts and osteoclasts to clean up any excess material that got created or used, and so it remodels it. It forms the bone to the shape that it's supposed to be, and it also hollows out any cavities, and it creates lamellar bone where it has holes, it has cavities, and this is done during bone remodeling. And this actually can take a long time. It can take up to 2 years for full bone remodel, depending on the severity of your break. And so after bone remodeling is done, you have a completely good as new bone, and it's fantastic and good that our bodies heal itself. So this was actually, here's a side of the full process of it. Again, we got hematoma, fibrocartilaginous callus, bony callus, bone remodeling. This is all indirect healing. There's also direct healing, which I didn't do any slides on, but I'll explain it to you. It is where, usually surgically, you go in, like a surgeon will go in and repair bones. And that is, they'll go set the bone or realign it to its proper position, and they're held, these bones are now, after they're set, they're held firmly in place by metal plates or screws or things like that. Now, the cool thing about that is when the bones are set like that and held in place, the body recognizes that, and it actually skips the callus stages, and it just goes straight to bone remodeling. And so you go straight to lamellar bone. So you skip the process of the bone having to create all the new bone and things like that, because surgically they gave it the strength it needed. So it skips those steps. And because of that, surgically repaired bones heal significantly faster. Thanks for listening. Hopefully I explained things well, and good luck. Oh, here are my review questions. And I got my pictures from that website. It's not a good citation, but I don't know how much we need to do it. Thanks.